Hello, friends. It's been a long time since I have come on here live and chatted with you guys. And I thought I would do so since it's been a while. I'm kind of done with all of my cancer treatment and everything, so I'm not doing updates quite as often as I had been before. But I thought it would be worthwhile since it's been 3.5 months since I finished chemo. And as you can see, I am growing hair and it's really exciting and it's getting thicker all the time. I can get up close here, but you can see that it's like really getting thick now, which is awesome. It was really kind of thin and wispy there for a while, but now it's really coming in. And I've had a few suggestions that I should try spiking it up and see if I can get some gel and spike it up and I can get the like Jamie Lee Curtis look going on here because I'm past the Sinead O'Connor now. So yeah, so I just wanted to chit chat with you guys and give you an update on what's going on with my recovery and life in general and see how you guys, my YouTube friends, are doing. So yeah, it's so like I said, it's been 3.5 months since my chemo ended, and I shaved my head a few more times for about 2 weeks following chemo because I still seemed to be losing hair as a result of that last chemo treatment. And then it really started looking like it was coming in again after that, after those 2 weeks or so. So then I started to let it grow. And that was actually our anniversary in August, which makes it easy for me to remember which day I started growing my hair out again. So I've been growing it out since August 14th because that is our anniversary. And this is what 3 months of hair growth looks like. And it's really exciting that it's coming back. It's kind of like a light brown mixed in with some blonde hairs and some gray hairs too. It seems like I have a few more gray hairs than I had before I started treatment, but that's probably not that surprising since it's a thing on your body and all of that. So yeah, so that's the most exciting thing, is that my hair is coming back. And I actually forgot to put my hat on the other day when I went to a dentist appointment. And so that was like the first time I really went in public with my hair like this. And I felt like, oh, wow, I'm feeling bold, like going into public with like, this is like a punk badass, kind of hairstyle I've got going on here. So I felt like I was feeling really confident going in that day for getting my hat. So yeah, and in terms of recovery otherwise, one thing that has been surprising me, other than, I guess one thing that has surprised me most is that for, the first couple of months I was feeling great post chemo, but then it seems a few months in, some fatigue really set in. And I did some reading on it and talking with people who have gone through this before and with my oncologist. And apparently that's really a normal part of the recovery process, is pretty intense fatigue, because it's your body just went through something so stressful, and it makes sense that your body has to recover from that, and that it takes some time, and that it takes a lot of your body's resources to get everything functioning normally again and everything. So I guess it's normal that I've been feeling that much fatigue. It is starting to get a little better now, but I had about a month in there where I was just dragging all the time. And even, caffeine felt like it wasn't touching it. And I was going to bed early, getting up late, taking naps during the day. So it was almost like, it felt like a different kind of fatigue than when I was actually on chemo. But it was just kind of like a, oh man, I'm tired kind of feeling instead of, that like sick malaise, you know, it's kind of hard to describe the chemo fatigue. But it's different than that. But yeah, that's definitely been something that I have been feeling that I didn't expect, because it's like you end chemo and then you just want your life to just get back to normal how it was before. And you want to be doing all the things that you were doing before you were doing chemo. You just want to get back into your rhythm, get back into your groove. But I'm finding that I have had to give myself a lot of grace um, in that time, since I have had so much fatigue. So, yeah, and I got, oh, hello, Marie from Germany. Your hair looks great. Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. So, in terms of other symptoms, like the fatigue has been the biggest thing that I have been dealing with. Um, I also, I've mentioned this in other cancer updates, but with the tamoxifen, with the estrogen blocker that I am taking, that following chemo has basically sent me into menopause, which is, I wasn't expecting that going into chemo, but that is a normal side effect that can happen. And they did say you want to make sure that you are done having children. Like, they wanted to make sure I didn't want to like preserve my eggs or anything like that. And I said, no, we have 3 kids. We are done. So we are done having kids. and and we also have our embryos that we just donated to our friend Micah, who is actually due this month, which is really exciting. That's another little life update thing. If you haven't seen our whole embryo donation series, I highly suggest you go check that out. Yeah, so Micah is going to give birth this month, November. It's really exciting. Um, so anyway, that's fertility wise. We're like, no, we're done. We don't need to preserve our fertility. So they did say that that was a possibility going into chemo and then taking my estrogen blocker. And that seems to be the case for me. So um, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, it's really nice. Like, I haven't had a period since June, and I'm not complaining about that, especially considering we're done having kids. Like, that part's fine with me. But the downside of that is that there are menopausal symptoms that I am experiencing. So, unfortunately, I have been really dealing with hot flashes. And I'm like, I really feel like an old woman here. This is crazy. um, Intense hot flashes, too. It helps now that we are getting into the colder months. That makes it not quite as intense as it was in the summertime, because then it was like I couldn't escape from the hot flash. um, but yeah, I usually get like 1 to 2 hot flashes an hour, and it is so uncomfortable. I mean, it just feels like you're on fire. And it's like you just strip down. If I'm wearing a hat, I take off my hat, I take off my jacket. It's really bad. I will step outside. um, but yeah, so that's been the unpleasant side of going into this induced menopause. Um, so other than that, I don't really have any other menopausal symptoms. I did, I had a follow up, like post chemo update with appointment with my oncologist. Was it last month ago? It was like a month and a half ago, something like that. And he said that for people my age, I'm 36, that going this other route other than taking tamoxifen was an option, and in studies had been shown to be ever so slightly even more effective, and that is to take a Lupron injection once a month. And Lupron basically shuts down your ovaries completely so that that route of estrogen is being blocked, basically. Um, and so obviously, if I had the kind of cancer that fed off of estrogen, it was like 99% estrogen positive. So shutting down the ovaries just shuts down that pathway of estrogen. So I tried that. I did 1 month of that, and that was the only month that I wanted to have with that because I was so irritable. I felt so bad for my family. I was just like grumpy, grouchy all the time. It wasn't pleasant, which is not my normal disposition. So it was definitely like a hormonal imbalance, and it didn't feel good. And my hot flashes were even worse when I was on that as well. So I called up my oncologist and I was like, this is not working for me. Can I just go back to doing the tamoxifen? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. They're both good options. The only one, the Lupron option was just shown in a study of a lot of people to be ever so slightly more effective, but tamoxifen is still effective and a good option for you. So my body seems to respond a lot better to the tamoxifen than to the Lupron injections. So we tried that. That was a little experiment we did, and my body was like, nope, we don't want to go that route. So um, I'm back on tamoxifen now, and I'm back to feeling pretty good again. My energy has been picking up, and I just think that that is, for whatever reason, it's really individual. I've talked with other people in my area who have had breast cancer, and it just really sounds like a mixed bag with who responds to different drugs, how people respond to different drugs differently. So you just kind of have to do trial and error. And that's what I did. And I tried it and it didn't work. And so back to tamoxifen I went. And so, um, yeah, so I don't think there is anything else in terms of my post chemo update. Um, yeah, that's all of my symptoms. I'm just trying to think. I will eventually be doing reconstruction. I should show you guys this. I know this is really funny and it's a little weird that I'm showing it on the internet, but I heard of this. My friend sent me this link to this nonprofit called Knitted Knockers. And if you just send in your information, they will send you these knitted prosthesis breasts. And so I'm going to show you just because it's not real. It's obviously it's a prosthesis. So isn't that cool? It's knitted and it just has like pillow stuffing on the inside. And you just stick it in your regular bra. So there we have it. I just got those the other day because I had just been using before that, because I'm still just going once, I'm lopsided. I have no left breast now. And so I had just been using this silicone stick-on bra that I had a long time ago and like using that like with a sock. And it worked fine and it looked really natural and everything. But I was really happy to also get something that was like made for that purpose. So yeah, that's actually, I just wanted to show you guys that because that wasn't something that I had even like been that aware of before I had breast cancer. Like, what do you do before you have reconstruction surgery um, so that you look balanced and normal, unless you just want to go around flat chested, which is fine too. Um, but I really wanted to be balanced with the other side. So, yeah, so I think that's really cool. If you guys are knitters, I highly suggest you go over to Knitted Knockers because they have volunteers that knit these things. And that's how they make it a nonprofit, is that it's all done by volunteers. And I think it's just the coolest thing ever. And I am so grateful to them for sending me a pair of those. So that's really cool. But reconstruction, that's something that is kind of on the horizon now. But I have to deal with going through a hysterectomy first. I think I mentioned that um, in previous updates that I've done, that I have to get a hysterectomy because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and without going into too much detail, a third-degree prolapsed uterus. So that is why I am getting a hysterectomy. I'm also coordinating that with my oncologist because I could have my ovaries removed when I have a hysterectomy, which would be, one form of prevention for recurrence with breast cancer, because it's basically the same as if I had gone on the Lupron injections that I was having, and because those shut down your ovaries, and it obviously remove them, then they're not going to have any effect on your body anymore. Also, but I talked that over with my oncologist as well, and he said that it's probably a good thing that we tried the Lupron and shutting down my ovaries, because then we know how my body reacts to that. And there are still, other hormones and things that my ovaries are making that are keeping me balanced and functioning like a normal human being. So he said, if you can leave them in, that, will probably make you feel better overall in terms of your hormonal balance. I do not have the BRCA gene or any of the other breast cancer genes that would put me at risk for having ovarian cancer also, because if you have those genes and you get breast cancer, then you're also more likely, like very likely, to get ovarian cancer as well. And I don't have any of those genes. So, so they're thinking that it would be probably wise to, when I get my hysterectomy, to leave the ovaries as well. And they can still be there keeping me sane. So that is set to happen in January. I'm going to have a hysterectomy in January. So it's like one major surgery after another. Here we go. And I am just hoping, with the COVID rates that are going on right now, we live in Washington State, and we're kind of moderate in Washington State compared to like the rest of the country right now. So I'm really thankful that we've had all of the restrictions that we've had that have kept us moderate, but even still, our rates are skyrocketing right now. And I think that we have a shutdown coming, another one like we had in the spring. So I am hoping that they don't shut down non-elective, or that they don't shut down elective surgeries, because my hysterectomy is considered to be a an elective surgery. And so I'm hoping that I will still be able to have that done in January and not have that postponed again, because I was supposed to have it right around the time that I got my cancer diagnosis. And then obviously that, plus COVID shutting down, you know, non-essential surgeries, that was off the table then. So I hopefully will be able to do it in January without any restrictions now, but we shall see. We'll see what happens. And then after I get my hysterectomy, once I am feeling fully recovered from that, then it's on to the next major surgery. Then it's to have reconstruction on this side. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to have a mastectomy on the other side, and just do reconstruction on both sides then. I still haven't decided for sure what I want to do with that, because there are pros and cons. Um, if I were to get rid of it, then that completely eliminates the risk, or like 99% eliminates the risk of breast cancer recurrence. Apparently, you can still get it in the chest wall, which is really rare, but it mostly reduces your chance of your recurrence if you don't have either breast there, obviously. But there are downsides to it also, in that I would have to go through that major surgery. And I mean, having a mastectomy is going to be more involved than just having reconstruction. And now that I have experienced it on one side, it definitely is limiting. In terms of recovery, it takes a while, and like range of motion, it would be in my dominant arm. I mean, when I first had my mastectomy on this side, I had to wear my arm in a sling and I couldn't move it for like 6 weeks or something, at least not very much, for like 6 weeks. And then I had to really use like my massage therapy skills and stretching and like doing PT stretching and things like that to really get my arm on this side, my range of motion back. And I finally, as you can see, I finally have it completely back now, which is amazing. But it took a while. And that would be a downside of having to do that. And I am a busy mom of 3 kids. So that would be a downside. You also lose all sensation in that side. So, I mean, there are ups and downs. I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to have the other side removed as well. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. But probably sometime in 2021, maybe late 2021, something like that, I'll have reconstruction done. So that's where we're at with that. I don't think I have any other health related updates, but I just wanted to do a life update as well, since so much is going on in the world right now, obviously. um, like I said, the COVID rates in the United States right now are skyrocketing, and it's a little terrifying. Um, and it's honestly really disheartening that so many people out there are choosing not to wear masks and have turned it into something political when it really shouldn't at all be political. This is just basic public health safety precaution. But alas, that is not the case, and rates are skyrocketing everywhere. And um, it's like I said, it's looking like Washington State is going to likely have a shutdown again soon. Um, and so we'll see what happens with that and if it helps. But we're just, like I have said in previous videos, like it either way, it doesn't affect us very much. We're doing pretty well here. We've been, ever since the pandemic began, we've been quarantining with my parents and Bill's mom and brother. So we are considering ourselves a little pod. um, and we all take pretty strict precautions as it is. And so we're going to continue to have, we call ourselves the quarantine. So we'll continue to have our little quarantine either way. But it's been so nice that we can continue to have that connection with our family. They live nearby and they help us with the kids. And it's good for them. It's good for us. It gives us a break. It's good for, grandparents to see their grandkiddos. And um, it's just been a really good thing all around. So, in terms of schooling, we feel so fortunate because we do this parent partnership in our district, and we have been for the last 2-3 years. And so the only thing that changed with that is instead of going to our in-person classes, those are just virtual, but we were already part-time homeschooling anyway. So that transition was a pretty easy transition for us. And so I just feel so blessed that we were already doing that. And this whole pandemic situation has been a relatively, I don't want to say easy because it is, it's hard, but relatively speaking, it's been easier for us to deal with since this was already kind of what we were doing anyway. Um, the other thing that my friend and I started up this fall was a nature school for our kids. And it's like 4 to 6 families every week. but we only meet outdoors and we mask up. Adults, kids mask up, and we kind of have a little bit of a nature curriculum. We follow this Exploring Nature with Kids book, and that has been so great for everyone as well. The kids get to have that social time with their friends. Um, the adults get the social time as well, which is great. And it's just really nice to be outside. And we do it rain or shine too. So it's obviously more fun on the sunny days than the cold, rainy days, but we just don't want to, especially with COVID rates skyrocketing, we just don't want to take that risk. And we just wanted to be really smart and responsible and come up with a responsible way for our kids to have that socializing time and to have time in nature as well. So, yeah, so we've been doing that as well once a week, and that's been going really well. And I am so thankful that we have had that also. So, yeah, that's how we're doing. I should ask how you guys are doing. Leave a comment and tell me, where are you guys and how are you guys dealing with the pandemic and everything? There was an election recently, which um, I don't want to get too political on here, but I will just say I'm very pleased with how things have turned out. um, and I think the whole entire rest of the world is as well. So that's good. Um, but yeah, how are you guys doing? I would love to find out. Um, I will also link this video in my community tab. So if you guys are watching the replay later, then you can leave a comment there as well. So yeah, I'm not seeing any other comments here. So I guess I will sign off. So I hope you guys are doing well and staying healthy and safe. And I hope you guys have good holidays and that you are responsible during the holidays as well. And just, keep to your own little pod or your own family during the holidays. I know it's not ideal this time of year, but, it's life or death situation for a lot of people. So, um, yeah, I hope that the holidays go well for you all. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if I'll get on before the end of the year. But if I don't, then Merry Christmas as well. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. And oh, in terms of videos coming up, I'm so behind on all of my vlogs. I'm like on I think I'm a full year behind on my vlogs now. So I'll keep those coming up and I will stick a few other videos in as well. Oh, somebody came on here. It says from Venezuela. Oh, hi. It's complicated around here working from home. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Like Mia Farrow. Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you so much. I hope you're staying safe there in Venezuela. That's really sweet. All right. Well, there any other comments? It looks like not. All right. Well, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe and healthy. And we will see you around. Bye, guys.